We are live. Amin, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Like we said off air, it's been a very fast 4 years.
Yeah.
For me, sometimes it feels like a blur. It's been 5 years for me, but it's hard to count the pandemic times, which is interesting as the restaurants were shut down during the pandemic. But so if someone were to ask me how long I've been doing it, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 5. Overall, it's 5, but I took a hiatus in the pandemic. How has it been for you? Because I know this isn't your full-time job. So how has it been, and how I think you agree. How lucky are we to be in Chicago as far as the food and hospitality scene?
Oh, big time, man. We have literally everything in this city. There's nothing, and there's nothing that we can't really get.
Right.
Of course, there's more of one thing, right? There's a lot of Italian food, a lot of Mexican food. Chicago is literally the best city in the world.
Yeah.
When it comes to just affordability, people are nicer. Just the food is fantastic.
Right.
And you could go upscale, you could go just street food, anything really will get you what you need.
It's endless.
Yeah.
It's endless. What spawned the journey? You said December 5th, 2019. I'm sure seemed like you were a foodie before then. But what spawned the journey to start documenting?
Yeah, I'm a kid from the suburbs.
Okay.
And in the suburbs, you got TGI Fridays, you got Red Robin.
Chili's.
You got Chili's. What else? Applebee's. Right? So my girlfriend, now my wife, was in the city.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm not going to pick her up from the city, drive her to the suburbs every time. It's just so long, all this driving.
Sure.
I started going to these really cool restaurants. And I was like, man, this looks dope. This cheesy bread that pulls apart. This dessert taco was like one of the first things. I was like, a taco with gelato and all this sweets. I'm a big ice cream guy.
Okay.
I love ice cream. So I see this awesome looking food and I start taking pictures. And then after I take the pictures, I'm like, okay, I talk to my girlfriend, now wife, right? My wife. And I say, I'm going to start a blog. Yeah. I'm going to start a website and I'm going to talk about all this stuff. She's like, is this 2005? Start an Instagram page. So I start an Instagram page.
Okay.
And I start posting the pictures just for fun, just because I personally love food. And after that, it really just, the pictures, I kept following a bunch of people, commenting on other people's posts, liking. It was a consistent thing. I would get up every morning, check my phone. I'd like 50 posts. I'd comment on 50 posts. I'd follow 50 different people, trying to create.
And no one taught you that, or were you observing other people doing that, or you just?
I had a buddy who just got out of a marketing program.
Okay.
And he got his degree in marketing, and he's like, hey, why don't you go and interact with a bunch of people, and just kept doing that, really. And that's how it became like, okay, 500 followers, 400, or 400 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7. And it became 1,000 to 2, 2,000 to 3. 5,000 was hard. After that, it was really hard to grow.
There was a plateau for a little bit.
And TikTok came out.
Really?
TikTok came out and everything in the pandemic.
That was my next question. It's just like, was there a tipping point where it did take off?
I think TikTok videos.
Would you repurpose the same videos or create videos solely like unique to TikTok?
So when you say repurpose, do you mean like
same videos on Instagram, on TikTok?
Yeah. So I only make one video, and I post it on
That's
TikTok,
so interesting.
Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Okay.
If there was another one, I would post it on there too.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, right? I post them on just the same platforms over and over again, just so more people can see it.
Yeah. What is it about TikTok that makes it more appealing or more susceptible to doom scrolling than Instagram?
Instagram, when TikTok first started, that was the thing. Like everybody would just consistently scroll. Instagram wasn't there. Instagram wasn't a video
Not
platform.
as far as Reels, yeah.
Not at all.
Okay.
Reels came out like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It really became a thing. But I don't know, just something happened. That computer voice, I would put that. Her name was Jessie. Everybody knows.
Was there a name? There was a name.
The annoying Jessie TikTok voice, right? So I would consistently use
Top 10
her.
things to do in Chicago.
Yeah, right. Like, if you want to try, are you the type of person? Yeah. So it was TikTok. Really, it was super trendy.
Okay.
And it still is, right?
Yeah.
But Instagram is slowly starting to get.
There's
there.
a lot more novelty on TikTok. I think as far as the Explore feed goes, it shows you, it's pretty good at showing you things that you don't even know was out there and things that you probably would like. Whereas Instagram, even if it's on the Explore page, it's just a rehash of the same things for some reason.
It's a highlight reel. TikTok is more, I guess you could say it's more open, right? Like there's so many different types of things on TikTok. Instagram, it's just a bunch of good-looking girls, a bunch of good-looking food, a bunch of good-looking dudes.
Yeah.
And then anything that falls under those categories, really.
Yeah.
Instagram is very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
TikTok is more straight to the point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you started noticing an influx of new eyeballs and ears onto the Instagram page. I mean, was that page growing just as fast?
Yeah, so TikTok was growing a lot faster than Instagram.
A lot faster, okay.
Instagram, we completely plateaued. 5,000 followers was like, it was pulling teeth, right? Because pictures can only get you so far.
Sure.
But once TikTok came out, TikTok got a lot bigger. And then if a post really did well on TikTok, in my bio, I have my Instagram. And then we would get more
you
followers.
notice that. It's just like people share how much of an influence they have on another page. Did you feel any type of pressure at that point or even before that point to start producing content on a regular basis?
I think in the beginning, no. But then I started making some money off of it. Once we hit about 50, 60,000 followers, that's when it became a business. It never needed to be a business because I had my full-time job teaching.
Yeah.
But yeah, once I started making money off of it, it became a business. And then I started a social media management agency. Not a lot of people know that. Everyone sees the influencer side.
Yeah.
Everyone sees the, hey, check out this place.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people saw the fact that I had 10 clients that I was posting 3 times a week for all by myself. So it's like, that's when the pressure really came.
Wow.
When you have a bunch of businesses who need help with their social media and it's all on you on top of having your full-time job. It was pretty tough.
Very tough. So what came first? Did the 10 clients come while you were plateaued on Instagram at 5K, or did they come
way later?
Like it's way later.
Yeah.
So what did they notice? Your TikTok page, your Instagram page, what did they notice about you that they wanted to work with?
Yeah, I think it was just overall my ability for sales, right? I would say, hey, look at this TikTok, look at this. A lot of the times the biggest way to introduce myself is my TikTok and my Instagram.
Sure.
They saw my TikTok probably first.
Okay.
Because usually that's where I edited all my videos on.
Sure.
So I'd edit my videos on TikTok.
Straight in the platform?
Straight into TikTok.
Wow.
Yeah, just until the last, I think, a year.
Because it looks really professional now.
Yeah, right. Now, recently, all I've been doing is CapCut.
Okay.
And that's I guess a step up.
Yeah.
I don't go
in platform. So in platform, then CapCut, and then what? Premiere Pro or DaVinci or?
No, I'm not even that cool.
I'm
not even that legit.
Okay.
Now I'm still at CapCut.
Okay.
All my videos are made in CapCut, but in TikTok, I would make a video, and then I would post it. I'd wait for it to refresh and get posted on TikTok, and then those like copy the link and get the copy downloads.
Yeah.
Do that, and then I post it to Instagram.
And you didn't care that the whole TikTok thing is bouncing around on the video?
Well, the thing is that's if you save a video on TikTok. It bounces around.
But if you download your own?
But if you go on a website like a TikTok downloader, it'll take the watermark off.
Jesus, these back end links.
Yeah,
but it goes to show that you don't need too much kind of back end computer stuff, editing
if
software.
Anything, that makes it worse for social media. The more professional a video looks, or the more like high-end software and all this stuff, it's not as approachable on social media. People love seeing the authenticity of like, this person just made a video about a really cool restaurant and went out there and just posted it.
Right. The game changer, at least for me, was auto transcribing captions.
Yeah, your videos look fantastic, man. Seriously.
That because I used to do them manually.
Really? Yeah. Fuck no. I would not
Watch
do that.
3 seconds, pause it, type it out, keep going. And now that it's AI generated, one thing I haven't figured out is how a lot of creators have been able to customize their captions as like, an outline or highlighting as it's speaking. Like that's pretty up there.
That is.
I know there's software out there, but I'm trying to muscle it myself.
Yeah, these are all these softwares, all this AI, all that's great, but nothing beats the real thing, right?
Yeah.
Like God gave us a mind, a soul
to
use, so let's use it on our own platform. But if you use ChatGPT just to do all these captions and all these scripts and writing, it's just going to come off as a computer.
Right.
But yeah, now I have all the transcribing. There's no way I would write that all that out.
God.
That would take forever.
So, your first 10 clients,
after I reached about 50, 60,000.
After about 50, 60,000, it's just walk me through the process of like, how do we monetize this? What is a fair thing to charge? What would open up other doors for me? Things like that. What was going through your mind at that time?
Yeah, so social media, I figured, I'm good at this.
Yeah.
I'm growing a page. So let me help some people around me and help my family, right, by making some money.
Yeah.
And helping other people grow their pages.
Okay.
And it was just hand in hand. It just makes a lot of sense. A lot of influencers, like I don't like to say influencer. That's not my favorite word in the world. It gets overused. But a lot of people who make the food content,
Yeah.
they're doing social media management. A lot of people.
Yeah.
So usually about 3 posts a week. We go in, we do all the videos. I used to go in and do all the videos.
Wow.
I used to go in and do these things, get 300-400 videos, little clips, just so you could edit them. I used to get photos. I used to do all this work for 10 clients on top of teaching and posting 3 times a week. Usually what you charge, it depends on how well you do. I've seen people charge as little as $700 a month.
Okay.
Or I've seen people charge as much as $3,000 a month.
Sure.
It really just depends how good you are at what you do.
And what you're happy with, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's worth your time?
What's worth your time? And you learn that over time, especially if you're not coming from a creator industry, right?
No. And what's fair to a small business or a bigger business,
right?
Like you're not going to charge the same post that you do for Culver's and Wendy's that you charge, a mom and pop that makes pizza.
Yeah.
Right. You're going to charge a bit more when it's a brand deal.
Yeah. What have you learned from big brands like Wendy's or Culver's, and has any of those lessons carried over into mom and pop, or is it kind of distinct from each other?
They're a bit more distinct because they really want certain things to be said.
Okay.
Right. You have to put, they have what is it called? FTC. So you have to put ad everywhere and you have to put sponsor, and it has to be very out there.
Okay.
Versus a mom and pop shop could be like, hey, I just went there. Right?
Yeah.
But I learned detail. Detail. Every single word, every single adjective, every single caption, every single hashtag.
I like that.
Is approved by Culver's and Wendy's.
They have a team.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there a lot more back and forth?
Yeah. A lot of back and forth. Hey, let me approve this video. Let me do that. Let me do this. The bigger the brand is, the more they care where their money is being spent.
Absolutely. Have you come to a point where you can guarantee certain things like engagement or deliverables? Like I
think anybody that guarantees engagement on social media is lying.
Yeah.
Because you can't say, I know for a fact 10,000 people are going to see it. Usually, our thing is 15,000 plus on every video, no matter what. We've rarely hit lower than, I don't think we ever have in the last year.
I mean, you can just plug an average of all your videos and they can spit out a number and things like that. But I guess what are most brands looking for? Because at the end of the day, it's the sales that count, right? It's not just the eyeballs, but it's like, are they actually going to these places?
Yeah. So some feedback that brands have given me is that we do a really good job showing the food.
Okay.
And a lot of different influencers have different things, right? Some people are very energetic.
Yeah.
Some people are very funny. Some people are very aesthetically pleasing and cool, right? But ours is just we show the food, and we do a pretty good job at it, given the fact that we've worked with these places. So that's the feedback we get is you guys really showcase the food really well, and your voice has a lot of energy, right? So I try to really increase the inflection of my voice and say, you guys have to try this, right?
Yeah.
And that's one thing they really like is the energy behind the voice and the fact that we really put food first.
And with that, what is your kind of hook? Like what amount of time does someone have before they scroll to the next video? 3 seconds, if not less. And if you're not having your face with the emotions and the hook, like how do they get hooked? Is it the caption? Is it the food? What have you put out? What have you noticed and learned from that? You try to create in the 3 seconds.
That's a great question. It always changes. It's changed throughout time.
Okay.
Usually, right? Like if you have a restaurant and they're known for this awesome pizza that's like has a burger on it with like cheese sauce everywhere and all that, but they also serve like salads.
Yeah.
What are you going to show first? The salad?
No,
so we start with kind of like
salad.
what they're known for. Okay. What is their like coolest, sexiest looking item?
Yeah. And
then we start with a couple different keywords. This. If you go through my videos, you're going to hear this. For some reason, that just really
And
hits.
then what? They're like, what?
Yeah,
what?
right? Or you. Because people like to identify with a post.
Makes it personal.
If I said they have to become me. But if I say you have to try this, automatically you're like, okay, I can see myself in that in that video.
I like that.
Because I have to try it. Yeah.
I like that.
So you, this, or sometimes I just go right into describing the food. Like, look how many. Like recently I just came out of the post. I said over 200 skewers of lamb, chicken, and steak. And everyone's like, whoa, let me stop for a second. 200 skewers of lamb chicken? I have to watch this. So you really have to surprise them right in the beginning. The hook is very important.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many reviews have you, if you were to guesstimate, have you done these days?
I've gained 75 pounds since starting this page. 5 years ago, 75 pounds. I was a lean 230, and now I'm not 230 anymore.
Okay.
I even thought about really starting a fitness page because I used to be a really big kid in high school.
Okay.
I dropped 120 pounds.
Wow.
And then I started this page, and I most recently, last 4 or 5 years, gained 70 pounds. The food is really addicting. So,
wow.
75 pounds worth? Is that an answer? 75 pounds worth of reviews.
I mean,
would say probably like 500, 600.
would you feel guilty if you just didn't finish the food?
Kind of, because sometimes you're sitting there, right, and there's the small business, there's the mom and pop, and they're like, really try this.
They're like, well, yeah.
And they're like, please, like help, like review it for me. What do you think? What can I do better?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, if I just take one bite and throw it away.
Yeah.
But now I have a couple rules.
Okay.
Rule number 1, I don't take any leftovers home.
Oh.
Because I want to.
Oh, okay.
I really want to.
Okay.
But I can't take leftovers home because then I'm going to gain another 75 pounds. And then another rule is that I try not to finish the whole thing. Right?
Yeah.
That's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
And then I try to stay away from drinking my calories. That's
Okay.
a big problem.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't give me as much enjoyment as eating them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But about 500 reviews, 75 pounds in. So
That's wild.
it's been a lot, but I'm definitely trying to get more healthy. That's one of the biggest problems I've had, I think, with this page.
Is prioritizing health?
Yeah, it's really tough because like right now, right? Like I got to go to a restaurant or I got to make a video or I got to do all this stuff. And I work full time, get out, I'm at home by 4. Do I go to the gym or do I go to that restaurant? Right? But one thing that's really helped me now is the people that I've hired.
Yeah.
They really helped me spread the business so I don't have to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you lost the 120, what would you attribute it to?
I would say a lot of it was everybody like, oh, what's the secret to lose weight or whatever it may be. It was just eat less, work out more.
Yeah,
So
calorie deficit, right?
Exactly, right? That's
Okay.
the 100% way to do it. So I would just eat a lot less, eat a lot cleaner. My mom was cooking for me consistently. Anything you cook at home is going to be healthier than what you get out, no matter what, no matter where you go, because all these restaurants are cooking with oils and deep frying and all this stuff. They want you to love the food, so they're going to put some stuff that maybe doesn't taste, or maybe some stuff that does taste a lot better,
That isn't
but doesn't
the best for you,
feel as
right?
good.
Yeah. So that being said, it's like, have you tried to be more intentional with the type of reviews that you do?
Like in terms
like
of
less fast food, or
yeah, or at least if I go to a fast food place, I'll be like, okay, I'll show the
there's a game plan.
yeah, right. I'll show the deep, or maybe I'll eat before I go.
Oh,
so I'm
okay.
not as hungry.
Okay.
Because then you really just start to binge. But if I know I'm gonna go to a fried chicken spot, I'm like, okay, I'll show the fried chicken spot, but let me have like a grilled chicken sandwich instead.
That is wild.
Trust me, I want it, but I can't have it all.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So with brand integrity, because I'm sure you get approached to do reviews a lot.
No.
Are there certain things you look for prior to saying yes to coming in?
I think, you take a look at all the reviews. You take a look how far away it is from you. Like, are you legitimately going to end up going there one day?
Yeah.
Like, if it's too far, it doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Like your audience, mainly Chicago, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a lot all around the Chicagoland area. We did some spots in Miami. We did some spots in different like travel stuff.
Yeah.
People just like to see people who know how to make videos for them. So if we ever go on a vacation, we'll say, hey, do you want us to make a video for you? And some of these places will be down.
Okay.
Yeah. But in terms of the places we review, I would say it's really hard to like everything that's put in front of you. That's one of the biggest questions. What happens if you have a bad experience? What happens if you have a bad experience?
Yeah.
Are you going to make a video about it?
Yeah.
My thing is maybe I don't like it, but there's probably somebody else that likes it.
That's a good perspective.
Yeah, like everybody always says, oh, well, you didn't like it that much. Why did you make a video? And I'm like, well, that's my personal preference, but there's hundreds of thousands of personal preferences. So if I don't like something, I'll really focus on some of the things I really did like the people. And there's very rarely that I'll find a piece of food I don't like. I'm very easy with food. I'm not hard.
Yeah.
I love it all.
Yeah. But would you, when the business owner is asking for room for improvement or anything like that, would you give that?
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, okay.
No doubt. I mean, I'm not going to be an asshole about it. But
Yeah,
if someone
yeah.
says like, hey, how did you like the mozzarella sticks? I'd be like, maybe they weren't as crunchy and as cheesy as I liked them. Right?
Yeah.
Or maybe they weren't, but again, that could be personal preference. Some people like more softer things. They don't like crunchy things.
Right.
So it all really depends on on the person.
Right.
You know?
In the Chicago hospitality page, and not even in the page, but I think there's this sentiment of like not loving, like, let's say Yelp reviewers, and how easy it is these days with social media to become a food influencer and a content creator. The barrier to entry is so low these days. And these people and places are putting usually their heart and soul into this food and their work, right? And to have a negative review for what, you know? And maybe sometimes it's warranted, but I guess what makes a food critic a good food critic?
Yeah, I wouldn't consider myself a food critic. I don't know how to, and people ask me like, "Hey, you do food reviews, don't you?"
I guess you're not giving an actual rating. You're just sharing. You're sharing, right?
I'm sharing the place.
Okay.
I'm pretty much just. I would like to think of it as a platform that promotes Chicago businesses because everybody could use it. My dad was in the restaurant industry for over 30 years, and if he had someone like me, I think he would have done a lot better, just like anybody else, right? If you have people around you that their job is solely to show your places, it's pretty good that everybody can see all the different things that are out there. You tend to like certain places a lot more, and you gravitate towards the food you love. Like I love Arabian food because I'm Palestinian. I love Mexican food. I love Italian food. I'm not a huge fan of certain things, but I'll try it.
It reminds me of Dave Portnoy during the pandemic, and you know he's always done one bite reviews for pizza before the pandemic, but it really shined a spotlight on, and the donation fund that helped a lot of small businesses survive. Plenty in Chicago. One of them was Manny's Deli. You kind of have that responsibility in a way, and the tough spot is like, well, what if the food isn't the best? You know, and you've already commented on this, but like, isn't the best, but like, you love the family vibe, and they're such good people.
Because there's so many different layers.
You
to
have
a
an
restaurant.
opportunity to help them.
Yeah, exactly. You want to help them, right? And of course, I mean, a lot of people who do what we do, they get paid for it. So my job is not to tell people what to like, what not to like.
Okay.
My job is to give them as many opportunities to visit Chicago places and decide for themselves if they like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like during the pandemic? A lot of take. Was it because it was takeout, right?
Not really. I don't know. To be honest, I don't remember. Man, I'm just.
Who would have thought we're
1,000 miles
at a time
a minute.
where we don't remember what the pandemic was like?
You know, I think because there was a lot of takeout. However, I don't remember doing a lot of takeout reviews because the thing is there's only the restaurant owner in the place, maybe.
Okay.
Right? And then if it's just me taking videos, it's probably not that bad.
But did you, in the back of your mind, like have that sense of responsibility of like, you see restaurants closing for good, and you're like, should I be doing something?
Yeah, some of my favorite places closed.
Like what? I
remember there was. Now I'm trying to think. I remember there was a place that closed during the pandemic. It was right on Division Street that we would always go to. I don't remember the name exactly. But
I don't know if Riza's shut down in the pandemic, but I saw a review from Riza's.
Oh, Riza's.
Riza's.
Yeah, Riza's was a big one.
R-E-Z-A,
that one shut down in
Andersonville.
Andersonville, yeah, right. Yeah. Love Riza's. Persian food is amazing. That was a place I went to all my life. Ever since I was a kid, my mom used to get that food from. They have a location in Oak Brook.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Right in like a hotel.
Nice.
Love Riza's. Amazing. And I think they shut down. Yeah, they shut down their. I don't know if it was during
the Clark Street one. Yeah.
But no, back to like
that responsibility.
Yeah, the responsibility of
or opportunity.
I'm trying to think, during the pandemic. What did?
Yeah,
everything was like right, like all the booths had like the glass things.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we were able to still do our thing. The only difference was there wasn't as many people and there was more takeout.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It didn't feel any different than
what was your personal opinion on going in there with a mask, doffing your mask when you're eating, donning your mask when you're not eating?
Did we have to do that?
Some places enforce that.
I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was the city that mandated it.
Oh, really?
And
maybe I did more. I think that was when my page first started, and I might have done more places in the suburbs at that point.
Yeah,
but I felt like when I was able to,
some places had to check your vaccination status.
Really?
When you got in, yeah. But it was a little silly. But they were working within the parameters that were given to them. Yeah. Silly in the sense of, you're eating and talking without your mask on, and you're in a room full of other people eating and talking and laughing and sneezing and coughing.
But that 1 second where they put it up is going to help.
But when you're done eating or when you're walking to the bathroom, it's got to be mask on.
Yeah, I get that, right? Because I guess you're more Because the one thing I really remember was working in a school during the pandemic. That is something that was vivid in my mind. You would have to, everything was online, right? Or you would be in school in a room all by yourself teaching 30 kids.
Yeah.
So that was something that made sense, right? Or if you're walking long distances, right? You don't want to have to spread everything as you're walking.
True.
But in the restaurants, I don't think it made a big difference. I don't think. I mean, the whole pandemic was pretty life-changing for me because I was able to really focus on creating that page. And that page really changed my life.
So speaking of kids and teaching, let's pivot to the day job for a little bit. I guess before you started teaching, what did you think you'd be doing? Let's say when you first thought about it, that could be high school or college. Take me to the beginning.
So I went to college to teach social studies.
Oh, okay.
And then a lot of my mentor teachers told me, hey, if like at the time nobody was hiring teachers in the area. Now there's so many teaching job openings that it's hard to find teachers for the openings. But at the time there was no jobs. So everybody was telling me, hey, Amin, it's probably not the best idea you become a teacher. You're going to get a degree that you can't use, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But they said if you get an ESL endorsement, meaning you teach the kids who come from overseas. Like I teach ESL. So I teach social studies to ESL students. So kids that come from Palestine, Jordan, Yemen, Ukraine, the Philippines, I'm trying to think anyone else, Tajikistan, all these different areas, they're all in one classroom. India, right? And you become a lot more marketable when you get those different certifications.
Is it tough to get those certifications?
No, not too much. I got my master's degree in ESL and curriculum and instruction. So the certification was 6 classes. That's it.
Wow.
No tests, no nothing like that.
Is there something distinct about an ESL class? I have a feeling. Is there more?
So everybody speaks a different language.
Is there almost like a naive enthusiasm for the material? Or?
Yeah, the kids come from a different culture.
Okay.
And in my opinion, outside of America, teachers are respected a lot more.
So it makes your job easier?
It makes it a little bit easier with behavior and things like that. It depends what culture, right?
Sure,
every culture is different.
Yeah.
But the kids who usually come from overseas, they're so worried about fitting in and learning the system that they're not too worried about, doing drugs or fighting or yelling in the middle of class.
Yeah.
Like
You yourself, are you first gen or second gen?
Second. I was born and raised here.
I guess defined by if you were born and raised here, you are considered a gen, right? So if your parents were born and raised here, they're first gen. In my opinion.
So my mom was born and raised here. I was born and raised here. My dad though came from Jordan.
Okay. Yeah. It just gives you perspective as to how much of the lay of the land that your parents had in as far as setting you up for success.
Exactly. No, my mom really instilled an insane amount of confidence in me. It made me feel like I could do whatever I wanted to do. So even when I needed to start teaching, it's like I can do this. When I wanted to start the page, I can do this. If I had more time, I would do so much more. But I just have a certain amount of time. I got to focus on the things I have to focus on.
Yeah, you're not spread too thin.
Yeah, but my mom definitely put a lot of confidence in me, and my dad would always work. Rarely see my dad growing up just because he'd always be working. So he instilled that work ethic in me just by, I don't even have to have a conversation with him. I could just see he's always working.
Yeah.
So my mom really putting in confidence and then my dad working hard, and you put those two together. If you're walking with confidence and you're working hard, things are going to work out for you.
What part of teaching appealed to you when you had to make that decision?
June, July, and August.
Summer. Having summer off.
My dad worked really hard.
Yeah.
So my dad would work so much. And I'd said to myself, I don't want to be like that for my children, right? Like I respect my dad that he had to make that decision. It is what it is. But I wanted to find a job where I can actually have a life outside of my job. And teaching gives you a lot. Like right now, I have spring break. I'm off the whole week.
Is it already spring break?
It's spring break.
It's kind of early. We were talking about this the other day. I'm like, someone said
spring break is always late March, early April.
Oh, it is late March already. I forgot. Oh my God.
Spring is like March 20.
It's almost April.
When is the first day of spring?
20th. It's my birthday.
Oh, really? Yeah. My birthday is March 4th. So you're Pisces, right?
Yeah,
there,
Pisces. Yeah, March 20th is usually the first day of spring.
Yeah. So spring break. All this time that you have off, and you're able to start a business while you're doing it, right?
Yeah.
Like you can run an entire food page while you're teaching because of the fact that you're off every weekend. You're home by 4, stuff like that.
Which wasn't the original intent to start a business.
Not at all.
But you just had time, and you were exploring, documenting food. If it wasn't for this, what would you have been documenting or pursuing?
If it wasn't for food,
yeah,
music or cars.
Nice.
Love music. Love seeing so many different types of cars.
Yeah.
You ever see those videos of people who review cars, basically?
Yeah.
I think I would do that.
Okay.
Or I actually bought a lot of DJ equipment, and I DJ'd at my buddy's wedding last summer.
Okay.
And I thought, so while I was doing Chicago Food Guide, I was also starting a DJ company.
Just seeing what sticks, you know?
Yeah. But then I was like, you know, making a food review for 2 hours, and I can make double the amount I would as a DJ. And then just time cost analysis, you're like, yeah, maybe it's not a good idea to sit there for 5 hours listening to super loud music when you could just be making food reviews for about the same.
Yeah. Scaling is tough.
It is.
Scaling is tough. So, like, how do you, like, have you ever, like, you're irreplaceable, but if you found someone that had the eye for design and aesthetics and flow like you do, but is in a position that they want to learn and maybe create something on their own, that might be fitting. But I guess the deeper question is, like, how do you encourage or incite skin in the game for someone that you're trying to be a part of your team?
Food and money. Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, for example, I got fired from my first teaching job.
Wow.
Yeah. And I deserved it. I would go in. I had 10 clients. I had to do food reviews.
Oh.
I was doing so much work with my business.
I got you.
So when I had the opportunity to be, I feel like it was an opportunity to be fired. I enjoyed it. Like, I didn't
took it as a sign.
I didn't like it in the moment, but I was like, okay, this is the time for me to figure out how I can grow without me having to do everything. So that was a wake-up call. Amazing school I was working at, 5 minutes from my house, one of the best schools in the area. And I would walk in every day, and I would just work on my business. And rightfully so, I got fired because of it. My evaluations weren't that great. I wasn't serving the community as well as I could have been. Right? I was still doing a solid job just because I had the skill. But after that...
You were coasting.
After that, I was like, okay, I need to hire someone to help me on both sides, the management and the influencer. And I found 2 people who helped me immensely.
And what roles do they play? So management, are they managing your time and content, or are they also, do they have a portfolio of other potential clients that can
So one is actually
you to?
my wife's cousin.
Okay.
Has a cousin. And then a cousin. No. So my wife's cousin's cousin.
Okay.
He does a lot of stuff with technology, videography, all this stuff.
Okay.
So I had to, but that doesn't mean that you're ready for social media and editing
Yeah.
and that. So I had to really, like, because his stuff was like, he was way better than I was. I was like, we had to kind of dumb it down and make it simple so that people can really it's approachable content for our clients. So his name is Juan, and I handed off 1 client, then 2, then 3. So now he has, I think, like 7 or 8 clients, and we just have 1 just so I don't, I always say you got to do 1 so you don't lose the game.
And what was his role?
So what he does is I have a video and a photo team. They go to the restaurant. He just edits he's the social media manager. He edits every video with all those videos and all those photos.
Yeah.
He edits all those videos for all my clients.
Wow.
And he has a little bit of a team too that helps him. So I taught him how to do it. He teaches his team how to do it. And now everybody does not what I want them to do, because we have to always change.
Yeah.
Things change all the time. Use this font, use this intro, use this. So we taught him how to really be adaptable.
Yeah.
And his team. And that helped us grow a lot.
That's wild.
So he takes care of the social media management side. I'm not doing 3 posts a week times 10 clients, 30 posts a week. It's just a lot. So he helped me with that. And then I got a guy named Alex who helps me with the influencer side. So let's say, for example, you got, so Victor, what do you really like to eat? He's like, now I'm interested.
If I'm at like a go-to at like a nicer place, maybe steak frites.
Okay, so you like steak. You're a steak guy. So Victor's Steakhouse, right? And you say, hey, I want to get a video on Chicago Food Guide. So you'll come to me and you'll say, hey, how do I get this going? And I'll give you our price and we'll set up a date. But I live in the south suburbs of Chicago. And you are in the north suburbs of Chicago. And I'm a full-time teacher. I can't go there. But I got a guy who lives right in the middle. So what he'll do is he'll go to the place. He'll get all the videos and everything like that. So it just makes it easier for me to have an influencer spot. And then let's say, for example, in Victor's Steakhouse, really like the video you made. And they say, well, I got to worry about cooking steaks. I got to worry about waiters. I got to worry about the cooks in the back. I got to get inventory. I got to clean the place. I got to make sure I'm hitting all these different, what do they call it, certifications to make sure my kitchen's safe and all this stuff, right? the last thing I want to do is worry about social media. It's so hard, but I need it.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, Amin, you were a great dude. You got a great company. Why don't you do the social media management? So all I am is the middleman. I'm the guy who talks to everybody, but I'll send everybody else out now. And if I go to a place, it's because I either like the place and I knew it, or I'm really interested in trying it, or I have some family from out of town and I'm trying to let them try some cool new food and all that kind of stuff. But I figured out a way where I don't have to do any of the work in the business other than my voice.
Yeah, there's still important work to be done, but at your level, right?
Yeah, your job is to delegate. And that's one thing that I really learned from the firing at that school, was I can't do it with the little stuff. Because if I do all the little stuff, it's just going to add up and add up and add up. Any good business owner has to answer a couple good questions, not answer every little question.
I guess what's stopping your team from creating their own influencer page?
I think because we've already done it, right? Like a lot of people are just, you have to start all over again, right? And also, I'm paying them. So it's considered a job. It's just like why anybody else gets a job. A little bit of security, a little bit extra money.
There's enough incentive.
Yeah. Okay. And we've grown that relationship. The people I work with, so Alex, who helps me with the influencer side, Juan, who helps me with the social media management side, those people are like some of the closest people I have in my life. We're just on the same wavelength. We talk the same. We care about the same things, family, friends, like enjoying life.
So I'm sure by now there's a flow to it, but how strict were your directions like initially when working with Alex?
I think initially I was like, hey, I bought him all the equipment I use.
Wow.
So I was like, hey, like, that's not a lot. It was like $100. It was like, yeah, I spent $10,000 on equipment and I gave it to him. No, so I was like, hey, this little thing that I use, right? Again, it has to be approachable. You can't have lights, camera, action at a restaurant, because then people are going to be like, well, that's not very authentic. That's not just, the whole goal of this page is your friend sent you a really cool restaurant. But he did it in a better way than like some shitty picture, right? So like we did a good job of showing it. So I gave him the same equipment and I taught him how to do it. And this guy's a brilliant guy. I mean, he has a master's degree in IT. So it's like he was able to really understand everything I was doing. So I taught him how to do it, and now he does a better job than I do.
But as far as
he's a lot more creative than I am. I'm not very creative. I'm more of like structured.
Yeah, right. So as far as like cutting a video, you need certain angles. You're pretty
I taught him all those angles. I created a sheet, said, hey, step by step.
A shot list, right?
Yeah, like this is what you should do. Cut the burger down the middle, take it and open it and show everybody what's inside that burger, right? If there's cheese, that cheese better be pulling. I always said the number one thing was everything your mom told you about playing with food, throw it in the garbage. We need you to play with the food because that's what people want to see. People want to see, is that cheese good? Is that burger thick and juicy? Is that, are those chicken tenders crispy? Get that texture of it.
Some ASMR.
Yeah. So what does that mean?
ASMR is like when people like are listening.
Oh yeah.
And they get to play like with
those
like
car videos when they're going like opening.
That or like the crispiness of the chicken tenders.
Yeah. You know who does a good job of that? Dave's Hot Chicken. Have you ever heard about them?
I haven't been there. Oh, I've been there once actually. It's hot. They can be hot.
It's pretty good. Yeah. Drake actually is like a part owner.
Oh, okay.
Or something like that. And so whenever I see one of those videos, it's always somebody. I'm like, wow, that's actually, now I kind of want it.
Yeah.
And I've done a bunch of videos for them. And then I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
You ever meet the guys behind Number 6 with Cheese?
No, but I heard about them a couple times. They do a good job. I heard about them.
Corey and
are they like YouTube or something? Or?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
I've heard about them a couple times.
They're cool. I've never met them either, but I like their.
Are they still doing content?
I think so. They're in their car and they just do takeout and they have food trays in their car and they're just different perspectives and
that's like the new thing now.
Just good personalities.
That's where food videos are starting to go towards.
Really?
There's like everybody's starting to eat in their car.
Yeah.
And do the whole the crunch.
Well, I know Steph Pappas does it.
Who's that?
She's a YouTuber. As well,
okay. Yeah. A lot of people are doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like getting in the car, eating it, that's super approachable, right? That somebody's in a car. I could be in a car.
Right.
That guy's in a car. We all have cars, right?
Right.
And then the number two thing is, right, like you're not showing the glitz and the glamour. You're just showing you eating the food. So it's pretty cool. So
after 500 something reviews, what makes you excited to continue? Like what's been changing for you? And I know you've had some exciting collaborations too. It's just a love of food.
Yeah. I love food. I would do this if people didn't pay me. I would do it, but I'm good at it, so why not get paid for it, right? Because it helps my family. But the two things are my love for food, love food. So I'm always gonna want to post about food. Like when somebody tells me, "Hey man, I went to my aunt's house for dinner," the conversation ends there.
Mm.
But I'm not that kind of guy. Well, what did you eat? What did she make you? Oh, it's that authentic, what's your background?
Chinese.
What's that authentic Chinese recipe? Tell me more about it. I don't know about it, and I want to know about it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be educated. I want to know what food is out there, right?
Yeah.
So the love for food. And then number 2 is the love for seeing my friends and my family enjoying life with me. Like my wife,
you're a facilitator. You get to bring
exactly.
them with, right?
My wife is a big benefactor of it.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't have to be worried so much about working so hard and doing all this and doing all that. But she works so hard. She's one of the hardest working women I know. She's the hand model. I bite my fingers, man. You think I'm going to put these hands in the food? I'm an anxious dude. So she's the hand model who always does it. And I can take my friends out, my family out. There's no business that your friends and family can just have a direct benefit from. Like, let's say, for example, you're an accountant, right? Other than tax time, when is your family going to use your business?
Right.
Versus, hey, you want to go to this cool brand new steakhouse that's just opened, right?
Yeah.
Like, that is something that really gets me happy. I try to invite all my friends, try to invite all my family so they could really enjoy this business with me.
What would you say is the ratio between going out to eat for content versus for no content? Like, is there a level of...
Well, it depends. Like, you mean like a restaurant, or like sometimes I order like to-go food at a grocery store. Does that count?
Oh.
Like, like you go to Mariano's or you go to Jewel and they have the
No,
that doesn't count?
like going out with the family.
Without Chicago Food Guide.
Yeah, without Chicago Food
So I would say
Guide.
probably for every 5 restaurants I go to,
Yeah.
I'll actually genuinely go to one.
For pleasure, like one like that you're not filming content at.
Well, I mean, filming content brings me pleasure. It's like when did filming content become a bad thing? No. So I would probably say, like, if everything's organized and set up, right? If I have 5 restaurants, then maybe once I'll go and I'll be like, okay, I don't have to take videos today.
Mm-hmm.
But it's usually a local spot, because if I'm going to drive far, I'm going to drive 40 minutes, 45 minutes. I might as well make some money while I do it. Time is money,
Yeah. How much time, I guess it doesn't because your setup isn't that big, but like, does it take to get everything you need to get prior to enjoying the food?
Well, I mean, the biggest time thing is the drive. Everything else is easy.
Really?
Like, let's say, for example, you throw Victor's Steakhouse, right? Sponsored by Victor's Steakhouse. Victor's Steakhouse puts this dope steak in front of me, right? Let me do it.
Yeah.
I do that like 12 times whenever something comes. 12 different items, 12 times, that's it. I'm done. It's just that simple. And then more of the time is on the editing and putting the song and putting my voice. That's more when I'm at home just in my PJs doing nothing. But the actual videos don't take too long. So they're enjoyable because it doesn't feel like a huge job. The job is the drive.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't understand that. I mean, you just see videos of...
It looks awesome, right? And it looks like someone's doing a real good job and they're putting a lot of work into it.
Of creators putting a lot of effort, and it just takes... Like, the food's getting cold. Like, it just takes a lot of effort with a little light, and it's just like they're standing on things and they're getting all the angles.
Yeah, I'm not very like that. Like, if I'm like, oh man, somebody put their hand in it on accident, or if I got a blur, it doesn't look exactly how I want, maybe I'll do it 1 or 2 more times, but I don't overdo it, because then it's not authentic.
Right.
You want to come off as like, this is what the food looks like when it hits your table. Get it right away, get it when it's hot, and enjoy it.
You've done sushi spots. Have you done any omakase spots?
Yeah. There's one place in Lakeview called Aji Omakase.
Nice.
Real good spot.
Yeah.
My wife does not like raw food.
Fish. Okay.
So she's like, what do you want? She's ugh. And it's nothing to do with the food. It's just she doesn't like raw food. And I was the direct benefactor, because she just brings all this food to me, and she's like, you want this one? You want this one? You want this one? But yeah, no, I love all food, man. I love it so much. I remember they brought like, so many different types of fish, and then they take like the steak thing and they fire it up and all this stuff. It's pretty dope. Yeah, I like why you bring that up?
Oh, I love omakase too.
Yeah, there you go, right? Yeah. Everybody likes something different.
As opposed to, you have some well-produced videos. You've worked some of the Bears players, some of the was it Bulls players as well?
No Bulls. I've been trying to get into the Bulls Sox, but Bears, Cubs, and some comedy videos.
Yeah. You've had Johnny Vitti?
Yeah,
Johnny
that dude's
Vitti.
hilarious. He's about as Chicago as it gets.
You were at NASCAR?
NASCAR, yeah. You did your homework.
Well, it's interesting. It's like you're not, you don't, did you ever feel pigeonholed because of the food guide, Chicago food guide?
No, because, one of the things, I know what you mean though, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, well, you're the food guy. You shouldn't be doing boats and yachts and NASCAR. And the good thing is food is in every part of life. We all need to eat and drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to NASCAR, guess what?
There's food in NASCAR.
There's food in NASCAR. If you're on a boat, guess what?
I just had a crazy thought. I feel like you could, if you didn't do it already, you could do the electric boat company. Do
the one where
ride
it's,
a river down the.
We almost worked
boat
with
down
them,
the-
but I get so busy, and the parking on the river is a nightmare. So every time we go on the water, we try to do like one of those private yacht charter things
Yeah.
and show like how cool that experience is. But yeah, the electric boat company is cool. I heard they do something like during the winter.
Right.
It's
right.
like a jacuzzi. I saw that recently.
Yeah, well, there was one that went viral with the guy like just having sex in the boat.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're a family-friendly company, guys. But yeah, no. It makes a lot of sense. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Right? We do festivals, boats.
Yeah, Sueños.
Sueños,
Yeah.
Lollapalooza, NASCAR. We work with the Bears. We work with the Cubs. We work with players.
What was
travel resorts?
when that first came into your as an opportunity? How did your approach change?
Which
Because
one?
with a partnership, as opposed to just you and the restaurant, right?
So, which one
There's
specifically?
kind of like three bodies involved. It's the other host, whether that's a Bears player, and then there's the restaurant still involved. So like there's three, and then you probably have a camera crew as well, and then you've got to run it through their media person, like the other host's media person. I'm guessing like a Bears player.
Yeah.
So there's more involved, but like, did your approach change at all with
the
that?
best thing about Instagram, man, is you could just text. I never worked with like the actual Bears Association, right? Like the actual company.
So the players are allowed to freely come do as they please.
Yeah. So I texted, I think it was Khalil Herbert.
Wow.
And I was like, hey, you want to do this? He's like, I got a great team for videos and all that. And I was like, yeah, let's just do it. Just that simple. I'm only as good as the people who work with me.
Yes, I agree.
I've worked very hard, right? And
Yeah.
I've figured out a good way to do things. And I have a preference of doing things. I have my own style.
Yeah.
But like the people who work with me make my life a lot easier. And my wife has been the inspiration of it all. And she supports me through everything.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever thought like you could make food videos like to make money, right?
Mhm.
Like, hey, I'm going out to eat
Might as
at
well.
an amazing restaurant, right? The bill's gonna be $400 or $500, and then guess what? We're gonna pay you another $400 or $500, and then guess what? You pay to boost it or whatever it may be, all that.
Yeah.
So I'm blessed to have the people around me, really. Like the video teams I've been working with. I've been working with this Chicago-based video team called Ghost Media. I worked with Khalil Herbert's team, two of his friends.
So tell me, like, what about Khalil did you feel like he'd be a good fit?
He's a Bears player.
There's more than that.
I reached out to every Bears player on Instagram. I sent 80 direct messages.
Okay.
I always do this. I take a nice direct message, right? I'll copy it, paste it, change the name on the top. And he, just this humble dude, such a great guy. Like cares so much about his team, cares so much about his friends, cares so much about helping other people, doing different things. He's a very nice guy. And he's just like, yeah, let's do it. Why not? So he really helped me on that one. And then I did the same with the Cubs player. His name's Jameson Taillon. Reached out to him. He said, yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. So we went to a Mexican restaurant, had a couple margaritas. We promoted the place. And that place has been busy ever since.
Have they been hands off when looking for a place to go to, or did they actually put some input? Like, I've been wanting to check out this place.
I'm always going to ask them. If I'm going to take somebody out to dinner, I'm like, hey, bro, what do you like?
Okay.
So he's like, I'm easy. I like everything. Or if someone says, I really like this, I really like that. So Jameson was like, I like anything. I'm like, oh, I know a place that's right next to, Wrigley, and it's, 5 times Lincoln Park, Mexican restaurant. Everybody loves Mexican food.
Yeah.
He's from Texas and Florida, so he knows about that Mexican food. So
have these partnerships opened any doors for you?
How so?
In any capacity, whether it's...
Oh, yeah. So somebody's like, hey, that guy worked with the Bears. I want him to come to my place.
Did that put your brand on other players' radars, or maybe even the organization as a whole radar, or doing a little media thing at Wrigley? Like, I don't know. It could be anything.
Yeah, we get invited all the time to go to Wrigley, the guaranteed rate, and be like, hey, we're coming out with this new food. Like recently we got invited. We weren't able to make it just because we had something to do. But a lot of people are like, that guy worked with the Bears player. That guy worked with
Right?
the Cubs player. That guy was.
can
I
only
was
help
on
you.
the Cubs Instagram page. They accepted the collab, and I was on their Instagram page. So a lot of people are like, that's super cool. Let's get that guy to come to our place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did
it gives
open
you
up a lot of doors.
credibility.
We made zero money on it.
Well, it gives you.
If anything, we lost money. We paid a video team, but
Yes.
it's an investment.
Right.
It's
right.
like, hey, I want to help out a restaurant. I want to help out all these places. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
So it's an investment when you decide to do work, knowing that later on it might pay off.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee, right? Just like in social media, like, can you guarantee a certain amount of views? That's a tough thing to say. People are like, oh, well, if I pay you, how many views are you going to give me? I could get you 6 million, or I could get you 10,000. I don't know where to tell you.
Right.
But my average is about 100,000.
Wow.
So please don't get mad if it's 6 million or 10,000. Hopefully it's 6 million. In a perfect world, every place gets 6 million. It only makes me better, and it only gives the business more money. But at the end of the day, there's so many factors. What's trending? What do people have a feeling for? What time am I posting?
Yeah.
What day is it?
You don't get too bogged down with that?
No.
Okay.
I do it after my work day because I can't post while I'm at school, right? So, and usually that's when
you
people
don't
have time.
Set it, like schedule it or anything like that?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
I've tried, but when you schedule a post, especially on Instagram, it takes away the collaborator feature. You know,
I noticed that. Like you said
so it's
it,
like,
but
what's
it
the
doesn't.
point of setting it and then the collaborator isn't on there? And you can only invite a collaborator once at the beginning of the post. You can't edit in a collaborator. You can edit it a tag though.
Yeah.
So those little things are like, why? I'll just post it. As long as the video's ready, the posting is the easiest part.
Right.
If you have the caption and the video ready, all you're hitting is a couple buttons and posting.
Yeah.
You know.
That's wild.
Yeah, I know. It's all these little things, like the comedy videos I'm doing now. I don't know if you've seen a couple of them.
Johnny, I've seen Johnny Vitti would come on my Explore feed pretty often.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy.
He is. And we're making no money on those. If I'm working with restaurants, I'm the middleman, and Johnny gets a little bit of something just because for his time, and he's creating the script and he's doing all this stuff. So instead of me making some money on that, I'm thinking, well, this is a really cool dude, and he's making awesome Chicago content, and he's a great guy. So like, why don't I work with him? And if anybody else comes along, or if anybody else jumps on my radar, I'll message them. I messaged Johnny. I said, hey, you want to make a video together? And it worked out for him. All of our videos did pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps him, helps me. Just because you're not initially making money doesn't mean you're not.
What's his ethos after meeting him a couple times? Is it just sharing his love of the city through
loves
comedy
acting.
and irony?
And he loves acting.
Okay.
And he's a damn good actor. So he really is such a great actor. He loves Chicago. He likes the funny part of it. And he's just a funny dude. So it just makes sense for him to be doing that. And of course, every creator makes some money, right? And in a perfect world, we can do what we love and make a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So he's doing what he loves and he's making some money off of it. Just like every other creator, really.
I noticed that when like new restaurants come up, there's an inundation of food content creators that make reels for said restaurant. Mm-hmm. Do you try to avoid that trend instead of hopping on, or is it helpful to hop on that trend? Because you might see 5 videos of a certain restaurant and then never hear about it again.
Yeah. So the first thing when someone opens up Victor's Steakhouse,
mm-hmm.
they're like, how do I get my name out there? And they reach out to influencers.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times they reach out to all of them at the same time and they schedule it all at the same time. So I think that's the reason why that happens like that.
Yeah.
I don't avoid it, and I don't really look for it.
Okay.
If it comes, it comes. If somebody reaches out, we tell them how much we charge. If they're cool with it, I go where Alex goes.
That's it. It's that simple.
Yeah. I think everybody sees the product, but it's only really a 30-second video, so it's not like an insane. What you're doing here is a lot more. The video quality that you put out is amazing, right? And you're getting into a person's process,
mm-hmm.
and you're speaking about just next level stuff. We're just talking about food.
Yeah. What motivated you to get back into teaching? Because you had this hiatus where you got to think about how to structure your side hustle. Yeah. Was there a point where you're like, this side hustle can be my full-time business? But you went back to teaching. So what happened with that?
So I was lucky enough to find a job right away.
Oh.
Right. So the second I got fired, I think next month I got a job. Not even 3 weeks later. Because there's such a demand for teaching. Okay. And now I'm teaching at the high school I went to.
Wow, what is that like?
It's pretty awesome. Like you see all your teachers, all those
So
mentors.
your teachers are still there?
Yeah. 'Cause,
Wow.
I'm a fairly young guy. I only graduated 7 years ago.
Wow.
I graduated high school 8 years ago. 2015. When was that?
2015.
How long ago was that? 9 years ago?
Wait, 15. Sorry, 15.
We're in 24. 9 years. So I graduated 9 years ago. So
9.
most of the teachers are still there. A couple retired. But
Wow.
I'm lucky enough to serve the community that served me. I was a poor kid growing up.
Yeah.
I grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment with my mom and my dad on Link. You know what Link is?
Yeah, Link card.
Link, Medicaid, free lunch at school, all that stuff. So my job is to teach kids how to get where I got, or at least how to get better than the situation they're in. They don't have to do exactly what I do, but my job is to really make them feel like there's so many. I grew up right where they grew up, maybe in a worse situation than most of the students I have. So my job is to help them know that just because you grew up in that situation doesn't mean that's where you stay. So I think if I was offered a job at any other school, I wouldn't have taken it.
Gotcha.
I make 7 times the amount of money I do teaching.
Through influencer work?
Business.
7 times.
7 times.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't need to teach, but I
wanna
really
teach.
need to teach, if that makes sense. Like, it's just good
Yeah.
for you to invest in people.
100%.
Everybody invests in businesses.
I
but
think
your car could get taken away. All this stuff could get taken away.
This concept of ikigai, which is 4 Venn diagrams overlapping each other to create fulfillment.
Mhm.
And one of those circles is a selflessness, philanthropy. And these circles, when they overlap, I guess don't have to all come from one job.
Mhm.
You can have a job that is just as a hobby. It doesn't make any money, but it brings you joy. But it's important to find something you're good at, something you enjoy, something you monetize, and something you're giving back to.
Yeah. So these kids, I see myself in them. They grew up
Yeah.
literally. I think I found out that one of them lived in like the same apartment building.
Wow.
So it's like, why wouldn't I?
It's personal for you.
Yeah.
How often are you talking about the food page or entrepreneurship in general?
I teach economics all the time.
Oh my.
Yeah. So I'm teaching economics first period. I teach government, social studies, all that, but I teach economics. So I talk about my food page all the time because it's the direct correlation I have to knowing about business.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, this is how my business runs. This is how I do it. These are the people I'm looking for. These are the investments I make. I teach them how to invest. I tell them, hey, this is the 403B that I have, like a 401k. I show them the exact things I'm investing in. I show them everything that I'm doing. Because why would I gatekeep to my own community?
Yeah.
So I think I use it all the time. And people are like, Mr. T, we saw you on, they call me Mr. T. My last name's pretty hard to pronounce. Tomalieh is not a very common name in the Arabic language. So Mr. T, yeah, we saw that video you did that and all that. That's so cool. And I was like, man, if I had a teacher like that growing up, I'd be like, that's a fucking cool teacher.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is
So
cool.
I try to teach them everything I know. I put my heart and soul into that, man. Because it's different when it's your own community.
Sorry, and how old are they?
It depends. So ESL is all based on English language,
Okay.
like levels.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
like I don't just get freshmen. I don't just get
I
sophomores.
see.
I get 9 through 12,
This is high school. Okay, 9 through 12. Okay.
especially in ESL. So usually in high school, like freshmen take this class, sophomores take
Yeah.
this class. And it's somewhat like that.
But ESL.
But ESL is kind of based on English levels.
Okay.
Yeah.
But at that age across the board, I think they're at that point in time where they're comprehending that. And I know for the EMT
And a lot of them,
class,
some of them were here for such a long time. They really get what's going on and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something I wish we were taught. We had a fair amount of trades, whether it's like autos, electric, woodworking.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Fremden Palatine.
Palatine.
But we took the EMT class to a trade fair at McCormick Place not too long ago. It was all CPS, and every trade imaginable: plumbing, electrician, HVAC, bricklaying, tiling, all that stuff, painting.
amazing.
Like it was there, and about 4,000 over 3 days CPS students got introduced to trades.
And that's how schooling should be. Schooling shouldn't be one of those situations where it's like, you need to be this person.
Yeah,
We need to make you this. It's one of those things where we need to expose you to everything. And you need to choose. Right?
Yeah.
Like listen, I was exposed to math a lot as a young child. Fuck math. Excuse my language. I do not like math. I had an issue with it. I don't know if it was teachers I had. I don't know if it was just the material. But math is something I don't like.
Yeah.
When it comes to talking about business math and money and all that stuff, I can make it work.
Yeah.
But our job is not to indoctrinate these kids and show them, hey, you have to be this. If you don't do this, you're a loser. You're this, you're that. No. Our job is to be like, this is everything that's out there. You don't even have to pick one. I have 3, right? I'm a teacher. I'm a foodie reviewer guy, right? And technically I am a DJ, right? Like I have a gig going on in May. I'm doing the Mexican restaurant, Cinco de Mayo. So
Very cool.
Or if anybody hits me up for a wedding, I did a wedding before, right?
Nice.
That's not something that's really that big because the first 2 take so much of my time. But you give them all the options and you tell them, hey, pick a couple. See what works. See what you like. When I'm 50, I might hate food. I might have gotten so sick from food, or I might love it even more and build a huge food guide website, whatever it may be.
If anything, your students can be interns.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Sometimes I think, I use that all the time.
Yeah.
I tell them I would hire you.
You could learn
I wouldn't hire you.
firsthand. Yeah.
And I don't, not even you. I don't even pick on them. I pick on their behaviors. I wouldn't hire somebody that shows up late every day. I would hire somebody that gets their work in on time. I wouldn't hire somebody with zero creativity and doesn't want to learn new things and closed. I would hire somebody and I use that all the time.
Yeah.
'Cause everybody wants to work with the food review guy.
Right.
I get free food and I get paid to do it. Right.
Right. There's a lesson in it. Yeah.
So the whole goal is that you're not just investing in things that bring you joy
Or money.
or money.
Yeah.
Because you're not always going to be happy working in a school. Kids are like this, man. You remember, we were all teenagers.
Yeah.
Your hormones are like this.
Yes.
You're angry, you're happy, you're yelling. You're telling Mr. T, fuck off. You're telling you're doing a lot of things. So to know that you're investing in people versus just business is just the next level, man. That's what God wants.
What do you want the future of the food page to be? Like any like lofty, if not concrete, goals in 2024?
Also, like a short term, 1 year.
Sure.
Yeah. I would like to continue what we're doing with making money. I would like to get more clients on our social media management side and really develop that. And I would like to hire more people. I want to get really close with some people, understand how to do business more, have more people so that we can grow it more. But the whole point is, right, that we do more. I would like to do more brand deals because it's a little less work and it's a little more money. Like one post with a Wendy's, Cane's, or Culver's pays 5-6 mom and pops.
Oh,
so then that's more brand deals, expanding the social media management, and just still helping all these small businesses.
Yeah.
Like, I love it when someone says, man, we've been busy for months. That is that brings such a freaking smile on my face. When someone says, you came, you made a video, you posted it.
And then they've been busy for months.
And we've been so busy and we're doing great. And this is awesome. And I don't even have enough food to give them. Right? I love when I hear that. That brings me so much joy. It brings me so much happiness that what I'm doing actually is working. And it's not just making me money, but it's making a bunch of people money.
Yeah.
And it's
a win-win, right?
Yeah. It's not even just about the money. It's about what money can bring you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can bring your kids better schools. It can bring you better health care. It can bring, you could go travel and you could become more learned about the world. You can do so many things with it. It's just a resource.
There's a little donation fund in your page.
Yeah.
Donate to the Gaza?
100%. I'm Palestinian.
Yeah.
So when I see something like that, it's just, why wouldn't you try to help people, especially people that are being so marginalized? So I'm 100% pure, just Palestinian. So I'm always going to support all the Palestinian people. So many young children are dying.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable that people are just...
Well, how frustrating is it when a ceasefire by many countries are being called? And
I know, everything. You think we're in 2024. We've learned. We're not barbarics like year 1, year 2. But if anything, it's just we're more barbaric. We have better technology to hide it, or better technology to do it even faster. Back then, if you wanted to kill 30,000 people, it would take years. Now you could do it with one bomb. It's so sad.
So, when you gain your level of influence, how do you leverage your time and resources to make the most amount of impact in the areas you want to make an impact in? I guess if it was philanthropy, do you still feel like your hands are tied at times?
Yeah, I'm not the richest man in the world, so it's really hard for me to use that to leverage. And I'm not powerful, right? I'm just a food influencer. I'm not a president. I'm not a congressman or something like that. However, if I do have the smallest of platforms, I'm going to use it for good. If it's this big,
meaning
or if it's
like if an Instagram reel brings someone joy, why not?
Yeah, 100%. Or also if I have the opportunity to support a Palestinian-owned restaurant, or if I have the opportunity to support a Ukrainian-owned restaurant, or if I have the opportunity to help anybody, or to just bring light to some of the things that are going on around the world.
Yeah.
I'm not very political on my page just because I need to be more educated on it, and I need to be... And I am a food reviewer, but if I have an opportunity, I'm going to repost a story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put a link in my bio for donations. Whatever I can do, I'll do.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it comes to my mind or something like that.
Yeah.
It's tough. You'd think in 2024 we would be better to people, but we have to make it work.
There are just powers that are greater than all of us, right? That continue to dictate no matter what the people are screaming from the rooftops to do. You feel helpless.
100%.
And I think when you feel helpless, try to remind yourself of what's in your control, and on a day-to-day level, you still have the ability to make a lot of impact in a positive way.
100%.
And because I agree with you with not maybe with being uneducated on the nuances to make.
Like I can't tell you everything I can't tell you the whole history of Russia and Ukraine. I can't tell you the whole history of what's going on in Sudan and Africa. I can't tell you the history of every little thing and why things are like this and what side to be on and all this. I just know if there's innocent people that are consistently being marginalized
and killed.
And killed, right? Literally, like just life ended, right? Why wouldn't we do something to at least talk about it so it doesn't die with them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God bless us,
man. Is there anything we haven't talked about? What do you want to talk? What's been on your mind lately?
Just we talked about our process.
Yeah.
Right. We talked about the direction, getting more clients, more brand deals, more. The present. I've been doing a lot more comedy stuff. I think people love food and people love to laugh. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's another thing I would like to grow. I think Johnny's really given me that inspiration. So I did one on my own, actually with a math teacher at my school, and it was pretty good. Anything that brings people a smile or brings people an idea of what to do, anything that really just helps people is nice. And people love to eat, so why not show some people some cool places?
Yeah.
And if it helps the restaurant owner get some more exposure. So I think that's it. I mean, I'm not going to lie, man. The people who are in my life have helped me so much. My mom has given me an extreme amount of confidence. She's given me so much, like...
No more link, right?
No, what was it? No more link,
no
right?
more link, right?
Yeah, right? So that's another thing I explain to my students, right? This Medicaid, this link, all this stuff. It's meant to be getting off of.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to live off of it, right? But it's there for the people who need it. And I was somebody who needed it from born to 18, 19. Out of high school, I don't know. I worked at McDonald's for 2 years. I was a softball umpire when I was 15. I worked at Jewel Osco. I worked at Best Buy. I actually worked security for events around the Chicagoland area, so I got to go to like Bears games.
Monterey?
Monterey.
Nice.
Yeah. And then, like the biggest ones. I went to Lollapalooza there for free when I was a poor kid. That was such a cool thing, just to even work it and actually get paid to go.
Confiscating drugs.
Yeah, exactly. Right. No, I was just a guy sitting and looking at Lakeshore Drive. Right?
Yeah.
And then I worked at T-Mobile, and I think that really helped me learn sales.
Yeah.
And that helped me sell my business. That helped me sell Chicago Food Guide to people. Like, hey, go to this restaurant. Hey, you should hire me to promote your restaurant. All that stuff. So that's really been my process. I was a kid who didn't have much, and I worked really hard. And at the end of the day, if I lose it all tomorrow, I did what I loved. And I don't.
Did you say you have kids?
No.
You don't have kids?
No.
Okay. You'd be a good role model, though, if not, as you are to your
Inshallah
students.
Inshallah means God willing in Arabic. So if God wills me, right, God wills it,
right,
then I could be a father.
Right.
Love to be a father. If I could have 5 kids, 6 kids, 10 kids, as many children are a blessing, man. I would love to have as many kids as God will give me. Yeah.
Are you aware of Marquez Brownlee?
No.
He's like top 10 YouTubers of all time. His page is MKBHD.
I'm a creator, but I don't spend a lot of time on social media.
Sure.
Like I don't really consume a lot other than like the food stuff.
Are you aware of the brand Ridge Wallet?
Ridge?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Like a wallet?
It's a wallet, but they make all types of different everyday carry accessories now. And They recently announced that Marquez Brownlee, top 10 YouTubers, has joined their team as, I think, CCO, Chief Creative Officer. So it's a small, I listened to a podcast about it yesterday. It's a small enough company to where they can give him a meaningful amount of equity, and he has creative freedom to
post about it.
Like create products, not just post about it, but like have input as to like what the future products might be like. He was always a fan of their work.
What does he YouTube about? Like, what does he talk
Tech
about?
reviews.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
so
is
like
Ridge
cameras,
wallet like a
phones.
technologically wallet?
Yeah,
Or is it just a piece of
it's a
leather?
minimalist. No, it's like a metal wallet.
Oh,
it's like it
cool.
holds your cards and some cash, right? But like
Okay.
it looks, it's like a
Like
fancy
security
clip.
purposes and all that too.
It probably has that
Probably,
RFID, yeah. But whereas Tiger Woods, couldn't really have a meaningful stake in Nike because it's such a large company. So he has to make his own if he wanted to, have that type of meaningful impact on design and products and things like that. Do you feel like that's something you might be interested in if a restaurateur and a chef wanted an outsider's input, that's dealt with a variety of different hospitality and restaurant industry or, professionals to come into that line of work and be part of the team?
I think, if the numbers made sense in the time and the time cost opportunity, right? Like I want to keep teaching, at least for now, right? Like 10 years from now, I might not be teaching. 1 year from now, I might not be teaching. Yeah. But for now, I think it would be hard to do that.
If Mr. T had a restaurant.
Yeah, right. Mr. T's pancakes, pancake house, right? I wouldn't be closed off to it, right? It depends what the product is. I have to actually, if I'm going to put a lot of time and energy into something, I got to love it, or it has to make sense. Like, yeah, I understand that. Like, God bless that guy for doing the Ridge wallet. Yeah. I would not want to be investing in wallets. Or David, I just don't want to do it.
David Dobrik.
What does he do?
David Dobrik was I know him. He kind of got canceled, but like he was a YouTuber from Vernon Hills.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
I did a boba place in Vernon Hills recently.
And but he has a pizza shop.
What is it called? Dobrik's Pizza?
Something like that, I think. Yeah, David, it has his last name. Yeah. It's in. I've
heard of that.
Cali, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Why did he get canceled?
Just questionable things that he did around his circle of friends on his vlogs. One of them was that, and the other one was got injured doing a stunt. Yeah.
He got canceled for the stunt. Does the stunt hurt other people or something? Or
I probably don't even know. Like I can't recall 100%, so I don't have to. I'm not going to say, but I don't see anything from him these days. Yeah. Cancel culture. It's kind of a thing still. Like how easy it is for the masses to just hop on the train and
it's insane.
Take down which could put pressure on what you decide to share.
Yeah, but that's a big thing. Like if my platform reached 10 million, 15 million, 20 million, right now I'm at 320,000.
Oh my God.
It's big, but it's not David Dobrik big, right? You have a certain responsibility.
Yeah.
You have impressionable children looking at your content. You have dads who are going to change the way they father. You have mothers who are going to change the way they mother. You have people who are going to change the way they act in everyday life because they respect you and they love you so much. So you have to take that. I know this is Spider-Man, but with, what is it? With
great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah. And we avoid a lot of things. I've gotten there's this one place and I feel uncomfortable even saying it, but there's a place that sells penis and vagina shaped pancakes.
I don't know the name, but I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? And I said, no.
They got the cream drizzled all over it.
I get it, right? There's a market for it. You're not going to create the business unless some people are buying it, right?
Sure.
But that's just not me.
Yeah.
And I want my children, and I want my students, and I want my mom, my dad, grandparents. I want everybody in my community. So
that's one of your filters. That's one of your filters.
I want everybody to look at it.
Yeah.
And my wife is one of my biggest filters. What do you think if I do this? What do you think if I do that? The fonts I use, she chose.
Nice.
Some of the music, I'm like, hey, do you like the song? She chooses. I respect her opinion so much. And she is the first person I go to. My wife was like, hey, maybe don't do that. And then I'm like, no, I want to do it. And then she gives me a reasonable explanation. I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Why would I do that?
Oh.
Why would I do that? Because now I see all the things.
Okay.
Even with Johnny, he's a little
He's out there.
He's a little out there.
Yeah.
And he's a great dude. But I try to be a little bit more family friendly. And sometimes I did some things with him and I'll be like, okay, but at the end of the day, I want it to go back to like, it's not just about like being scared to do bad things, like say bad words and things like that. You hear my language. I swear sometimes.
Yeah.
But everybody's watching. And it's something that's posted. 10 years from now, it's posted.
Mm-hmm.
You saw all my old stuff.
Yeah.
Did any of it make me look like an asshole?
No.
Did any of it make it look like I hate people?
No.
Did any of it make it look like a weird dude? Like
No.
I do weird things. I treat women or men weird, or I treat kids weird. Any of that stuff?
No.
Then that's how you should carry yourself.
Right.
You should say, listen, I am my name on my last name. I need to carry it in a good way. But the thing is, social media is very polarizing. The person that's the most polarizing gets the most views. And that's why sometimes I say, this is the best pizza in Chicago. And everybody's like, hold the fuck up. I got to watch this video because this dude is lying. The best pizza's over here.
Be honest. Have you said that more than once for a pizza place?
I think I only said it once because I genuinely believe it. But I said, this is maybe the best new spot that just came out. Or I'll say, this is the best spot in the suburbs. Or this is the best spot in this town or this area, right? Because it probably is. Well, that's all I know.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say this is the best. But so then again, your best can change.
You're not polarizing for the sake of polarizing.
Yeah, exactly. But what if your best changes too, right?
Wow.
Like if I come out with a video 2 years ago about the best pizza and I try a pizza better, how am I supposed to describe that pizza? Hey, 2 years ago I made a video. Guess what? Fuck that place. This is the new best place. No, I'm just going to say this is the best. I'm not going to bring someone down in order to bring another place up.
Yeah. I hear that. I hear that.
But yeah, so I think sometimes I get caught up with that. Sometimes I'm like, well, yeah, I did say the other place was the best, but no, I think this place is better now. Because the thing is, I haven't had a lot of a certain food. So like if I tried a certain food for the first time, I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever tried it.
Right.
But now I'm like, okay, but then I tried that same thing, but at a better place. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but this is the best. But that was my best a year ago.
Okay.
You know how that changes?
Yeah. So, is there a type of food that you're putting yourself like giving more intention to try in 2024?
Yeah, raw seafood.
Oh.
That's something like omakase.
Yeah.
Oysters.
Yeah.
Like cold seafood, like in those. I wasn't a huge seafood guy growing up.
Yeah.
In a lot of Palestinian recipes, it's like lamb, chicken, beef. Lamb, chicken, beef. Sometimes you have fish.
Yeah. Do you like kebabi?
Kebabi's the Persian place.
On Kedzie?
So that guy actually I heard was related to Rizzo's.
Oh.
He's a brother or
Did
a
not know
cousin
that.
or something like that.
Wow.
I've never been there.
Oh, okay. It's nice.
But I love Persian place. There's a place called Nuno Kebab
yeah, Nuna kebab.
next to Kebabi or something. Probably they're all in that area in the north side.
Oh, across the street, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I love that place.
Okay.
It's really hard for me to find food I don't like.
Yeah.
Like if someone's making food, like you can kind of tell when a place is bad and people aren't putting enough TLC into it. But you can tell when someone's making some stuff and they care. Like if they reach out to us, they care about their food. Like nobody's gonna reach out to someone and try to show it to a bunch of people and they know their product is bad. And that also brings up another thing.
Yeah.
I've been to places where the food is fantastic, and then I go without Chicago food guy the next day, and the place is trash.
What happened?
I think they put on what is it called, horse and pony show.
Really? But why not maintain that? Like, I don't get it.
I know, right? I know. But when someone comes in and it's organized and it's professional and hundreds of thousands of people are going to see it, they really try to put the best. But on the everyday, you can't sustain that. Does that make sense? You can't always have your best chef, your best server, and your best cocktail maker. Some people are just better.
I hear that.
And you can't do it all the time.
I guess, I don't know if you've had to deal with this prior to the social media page, but like, how do you deal with the criticism on the page, whether it's like, this place is trash?
I love the criticism.
You do? Like,
when I first started the page, I would say, this dude's from the suburbs. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I would create accounts and I would be my own hater. Because it caused other people to either defend me in the comments or other people to join in on fucking me up in the comments. So I would either do A or B. And now when someone says something bad in my comments, I smile because I'm like, bro, there's going to be like 5 other people that are going to say that same thing. And that's 5 additional comments. That post is going to blow up. Because for every 5 negative people or every 1 negative person that says something negative about a place, there's 3 people that'll try it. There's 3 people that'll say, hey, I'm interested in that. There's 3 people that are like, yeah, that makes sense. Because all those negative comments, there's like 100 negative comments. There's like 1,500 shares. There's like 1,500 saves. Why would somebody save or share a place? Someone going to share a place to say, that, hey, look at this trash place. No, if I send you a place, it's, yo, people are hating. Let's see if it's actually really good. And then when someone actually tries it, they can make their own opinion. I mean, there's no such thing as a perfect restaurant. Somebody's going to have something to say about a place. Someone's going to, I don't like the weather. I didn't like how cold it was. Like this, like where we're at right now is a little chilly.
My camera's overheat, so I need it to be
I'm
a little.
I'm joking, right? But at the end of the day, or the like food, I didn't like that they put so much oil. I didn't like that they didn't put enough oil. I need more salt. I have to put my own salt. So at the end of the day, nobody's going to want the same thing always. Not every person has the same taste. Everybody has different experiences in life. Your mom or dad cooked for you in a different way. My mom and dad cooked for me in a different way. There's things that remind you of home. There's things that remind me of home. There's things that you tend to like, I tend to like. And it just changes. So when someone has a bad experience, it could, someone maybe had a bad day at the restaurant. Maybe one of the servers just got through a divorce. And he or she had a terrible day. And they're like, fuck, like, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
Maybe your service isn't going to be that great.
Right.
You have to try your best, right, to be professional, but we're all humans. So you might have caught somebody on a bad day, and maybe that's why you say it's trash. But when there's 1,000 comments of a place being trash, maybe the restaurant owner needs to take a look, right, and say, like, why are there so many people saying such bad things about my place?
Has that opened up conversations like that in the DMs of like? I
don't offer that unless somebody asks me.
Yeah, no.
If
like
a restaurant owner,
if they come back to you and they're like, "Damn, these comments are savage."
Yeah. I've had once a restaurant owner asked me to delete them. I'm like, no.
Oh,
not deleting comments.
Wow.
This is bro, free market, free open.
But what if they were a collab? Would they delete comments?
I don't think they can.
Really?
Because it's my post.
It starts with the original. Yeah. Oh.
You can't, like, if we do the collab right now, right? And I try to delete a comment on whenever this comes out or whatever, I can't delete the comment. Only you can.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I see.
Or if it's on TikTok, there's no collab feature.
Okay.
So I think we all just have to grow from the negative criticism we get. I've gotten so much negative criticism. Why do you, this food doesn't even look good. Well, the food looked good when I had it. Maybe I fucked up with the video. So let me get a better light. Or let me stop. Oh, well, I could barely see it. Well, why are my hands while I'm taking a video? I have to be more steady. Right? So we all have to take our criticism and say, listen, that was not me. Let me get better. But if you take it and you're like, fuck that dude, he doesn't know what he's talking about. There's some people that are like that. But there's 15 people telling you the same thing. You got to look in the mirror, man.
Yeah.
And it's tough. That's what happened with me in my first job.
Right.
I got fired for a reason. There wasn't just one person that fired me. They go through a whole process.
Right.
And I looked myself in the mirror. I was like, yeah, I needed that.
Yeah.
I needed the opportunity to be fired so that I can hire more people.
Right.
I needed the opportunity to be fired so that I can get more people to contribute and help me grow my business and stop being a perfectionist and say only I can do it right. Because when you're doing everything, you're going to fuck up. Yeah. When you're doing all this work, you're going to mess up. You're a human. Yeah. So I think
you own it and then move on.
You own it and move on.
Off air, you said you wanted to put more of a personal touch to the page, see more of Amin.
Yeah.
On the flip side, we've benefited from leveraging the team in order to churn out the number of videos that you've created with. So what are you hoping to accomplish by putting more of a personal touch on the page then?
I think a lot of creators have their own personal touch. They show their face or they give their vibe or they say where they're from. And I think it's nice to have a platform where in the beginning, nobody knew who I was. Some people thought I was a girl. Some people thought I was a white dude. Some people thought I was a black dude. Some people thought I was Mexican or I was Asian.
Based on the voice, or
I didn't use the voice in the beginning.
Oh, right.
You see some
like
of my
an AI
videos?
voice. Yeah.
The AI voice.
Yeah.
Nobody knew who I was. So it was good to grow in that way because you're able. Some people are pretty, how you say, biased.
Okay.
If they know it's a Palestinian dude, or if they know it's a black dude, or they know it's a girl, or they know it's somebody that's Mexican or someone that's Asian, they might not be as open to listening. Right? But now that I've grown it and it's became a thing, I want everybody to feel my flavor.
I like that.
To know that I like to laugh. I like to laugh. I like to eat. And I want people to know who I am. That I work hard. And I got where I was because I worked hard. I wasn't very creative. I looked at what other people were doing. I took a little bit from each person. And I put it together. And I put my own little sauce on it. Put my own seasoning. But I'm not a super creative guy. I try to partner up with people who are creative. Or maybe I am creative. I'm not giving myself enough credit. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think I'm like in the mix, right? Like when I saw you, I was like, oh, this dude's super cool. His videography is awesome. He's asking cool questions. He's worked with other creators that I know. Let me reach out to him and let's do a collab post and let's see what it looks like. Yeah. So I try to use other people's expertise to help my expertise. Because I'm going to learn so much just from you. Just this sitting here right now, I'm learning so much. Seriously, I'm learning about all this different lighting. I'm like, wow, that video looked really cool, but I don't think anybody's seeing all the lighting that's going on.
There's just one, but yeah.
There's two. There's one
two.
above and there's one on the
side. I guess there's two.
And then like these are cool mics, right? Like let's say for example, I go to Sueños and I do some media for him. How am I going to talk to the people in these loud crowds?
Oh, just get those lav mics, the wireless.
You see,
lav
but
mics.
I wouldn't have known that before, right? And I don't know which one do I get.
Yeah.
Right. I've heard about them, and I've seen like Johnny use them. I've seen other people use them.
The small DJI.
But which one is really good for certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or anything really.
If someone was trying to become a content creator, I feel like people get hung up on the metrics too much than the actual content. Is there any other advice that we haven't talked about that you would impart on them?
I would say, I mean, the most important thing is be consistent. I've had people start pages.
So give yourself a deadline.
Yeah, I had people start pages before I did, and they haven't been doing it the last 3-4 years. And they did about as good of a job as I did.
Because maybe they were trying to get something out of it versus
let it be natural.
Thoroughly enjoy the food.
Exactly. Like I started this 5 years ago, right? December 5th, 2019. Is that 5 years ago?
4.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't make any money off of it for the first like year or 2 years. I just did it for fun because I liked it. Try to be as natural as possible. I know like if you really want to make money off of something and you really want to start a business, you're going to force it, I guess, right? Well, especially if you quit your regular.
It definitely opens doors, right?
Yeah.
In the sense of great opportunities, great food. You get to bring your family and friends with.
It makes money.
It makes money, but it's not always rainbows and sunshines like that.
100%. Yeah. I mean, there's sometimes where I got to work and I got to pull over a video. And then, if you work with a brand, it's like you have to keep sending revisions. You have to do all this stuff. And it becomes taxing. But you have to push through. You have to be consistent. And you have to work as hard as my dad did. You got to work as hard as, whoever is the hardest person working you've ever seen. Because what I'm doing is a lot easier than what my dad did. My dad was, 15 hours working in a restaurant, like working over a fryer. I'm sitting in my PJs editing a video. No, he was manager at a restaurant.
He was manager.
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife's texting me.
You're good.
Hola.
Yeah, that's wild.
So if someone's starting off and they're like, I really want to start making, is it just food videos? Is that what we're saying? Like food reviews?
Content creator, right? I think most content creators do it because of the perks, right? Rather than the actual joy of partaking in the content creation.
Exactly. No, that's the biggest thing. All the perks and the money are a side effect of consistency. If you're consistent with it and you're finding cool places, you're finding the trendy place, you're finding that new place that opened up and you're going there, you're making that hour drive and you're flipping that video right around because you're doing it fast. You're finding the trending, you're doing all that work and then you consistently do it 4 or 5 times, 6 times a week.
Yeah.
I can only do it like 4 or 5 times a week. It's tough for me to put out 7 days a week. I need a day or 2 off without posting because it becomes like this constant, like, becomes over your head and you start to lose your creativity.
Out of the 500 videos, how many iterations did it take for you to nail down a flow of like, you're really happy with this video that you made? I'm
still not happy with the videos I'm making.
But you're satisfied.
They could be better, but I'm satisfied.
Satisfied enough to put them out.
It's pretty natural. I start with the best food, coolest, sexiest food item, and then I get into a regular meal. Here's the appetizer.
No. Your process of beginning to end, from meeting with the client, maybe contracts, and then the actual planning, the filming, the editing, the putting out, the caption creating. I guess how many iterations did it take for you to become confident and comfortable?
I think as many criticisms as I heard. They're like, hey, you could have done this faster. Or, hey, like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And I didn't even think of it, but I was growing as I was doing it.
Yeah.
Like a brand would tell me, hey, you should add this. Hey, you shouldn't keep using that word. Or you should use this word to describe food instead. And I use that, and I decide, hey, I'm going to grow off that. I'm going to use that more. Mm-hmm. So I just added all these little things that came in, and they became what they were. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, I think I got a good flow of not over, how do you say? not over-promising. I'm going to get this done in 2 days, and it's going to be the best video you ever see. I temper expectations. I tell them, hey, it's going to take about 2 weeks for me to get this post out because I'm so busy. I have so many places.
And if you get it out faster, you get it out faster.
If I get out faster, I get out faster. I'll send it to you before so you can approve it, so I know that there's no issues between you and I. But I'm also going to put my own opinion on it. I don't really say anything negative anyway. And then from there, I just copy and paste, do the same thing over and over again. Just try to find a cool song. I think that's the hardest part sometimes for me. It's like, what song do I really? What song makes sense for this in the background? So other than that, I think I found a good system of just working hard.
Gotcha.
Just making sure I'm consistent. Like, I'm not going to go a month without posting.
Yeah.
I do. I'm. Where's my business? Where's the money coming?
Have you decided to start a blog? Because I know you
like actual website.
You originally,
No.
you originally wanted to,
No,
right?
I think
because what if Instagram goes away? What if TikTok goes away?
I know, right? I should. Right?
The blog is yours.
Idea. It's an idea. I don't think Instagram.
If you have more time.
I don't think this whole thing about TikTok being put. It's not going away.
Yeah.
I know it's not. It's too big to fail, type of thing. You know what I mean? America's just trying to make some money off of it.
You think that's what MySpace thought?
Yeah. The difference is MySpace lost its luster. TikTok is not losing its luster right now. If I see TikTok losing its luster, then I'll be like, yeah, TikTok died because it lost its luster.
Yeah.
But MySpace lost its luster because a lot better shit came out.
I wonder what the next shit's gonna be though.
That's what I'm always trying to figure out. Like 2 years ago, I never posted a YouTube short. Now, have you seen my YouTube? I have almost 1,000 subscribers. Almost.
Nice.
Almost 1,000.
That's a good revenue stream.
That's solid, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that's something that I never would have done. And then every now and again, other social media apps reach out and they say we're coming out.
Are you considering long form reviews then?
What do you mean?
So like longer reviews on YouTube rather than just shorts.
Well, YouTube has shorts, so
I know, but like, what if someone wanted to watch you for 10 minutes reviewing?
Nobody wants to watch my for 10 minutes, bro. I get annoying after a while. Nobody wants to watch me for 10 minutes.
Bro, this is an hour and a half. They're going to be listening to you.
So is this going to be on, what is this on?
All the podcast platforms and YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe, right? The thing is it can't take, like, for example, if I realize that my business's profit cut in half, I'm going to have to look at other ways to make money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to look at other social media apps. I'm going to have to look at that. But for now, I don't have to. But I'm always planning it. Like, because right now, I take the same video and I post it on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So I'm covering a decent amount of... Mm-hmm. Those are the biggest social media apps. I mean, other than, like you said, LinkedIn, I don't know where else to post.
Yeah, LinkedIn doesn't really... I mean, it makes sense for some creators, but I think there is an opportunity with longer form YouTube. But, we had a conversation of if your content creation took away from being present in the meal with whoever you're there with.
It would. Right. All these people who are just really documenting everything on social media, they're not living life.
But you have...
Unless, I guess you just said it and forget it.
You have a network, though. Right? Which is, you built this clientele. But with that network, imagine... if, and other people are doing this as well, but it takes more effort to do this. What if you went on an off day and you had to sit down with those restaurateurs or business owners in their shop, and you got to pick their brain, and they got to pick your brain, and it's. I think people would watch that on YouTube.
You'll come with me because you came up with the idea. That's what I always say. So many people. There's hundreds of thousands of restaurants. I feel like, right? And there's new ones opening up all the time.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, "Amin, you should do this restaurant." Well, yeah, let's do it. Can you send me the Instagram so I can message them? And their direct commission is the food. You told me about that place.
Yeah,
I am going to go. And if it turns out to if I get a solid payoff on it, I'll even throw you $100 or something like that.
There you go.
So whenever somebody educates me on new restaurants, but if I heard of a restaurant, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I already reached out to them. I already knew about them. I already did them. But if it's a new spot, which almost everybody who brings up a spot, like I've never heard of it. So I'm like, okay, so let me reach out to them, and if it becomes business, they get the commission.
Right.
The food and the money.
Yeah.
So if this works out, I'll go back to this podcast, and I'll be like, hey, he said I should do this. I started doing it. It worked out, and I'll make it. I'll definitely reach out to you.
I think it would just be fun. I think it would be fun to talk to business owners and create more in-depth relationships through that vessel.
Yeah. No, my contact list, I take it very... very seriously, because if I ever am in a situation where I'm like, well, this month is a little bit lighter than last month, I haven't done as many food reviews, I'm not making that much money, I go to my contact list. And remember, I treated all these people in my contact list with respect. I worked my ass off to make it work for them. And I love them all. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to say, hey, remember that time we did this?
Mm-hmm.
You want to do it again? And then now March isn't that light.
Yeah.
So your network is really important. People always say that. Your network really is a big part of how you're going to really grow in terms of just business and learning new ideas and things like that.
Right.
So whenever I am really low, I just look at my contact list and I say, hey, let's do this restaurant. It worked out for them. Let me reach out to them. Let me ask, even sometimes I'm like, I don't even want to make money off of them. Let me ask, are things going?
Yeah.
Just, hey, what's up?
Right. It doesn't always have to be a business transaction.
Yeah. Like, hey, remember that video I made for you last year? Like, did it work? Yeah, it worked. We were good for like 2 or 3 months. Well, why don't we do something else? That helps me, that helps you.
Mm-hmm.
And we end up developing from there.
I like that.
I really like what I do, man. Teaching,
it shows.
Food, I'm fucking on fire.
What your family, your students, they're lucky to have you. What does your dad think about what you do?
Oh, he loves it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the big belly, and he used to be a super skinny dude because he'd always be active, but now he's less active now.
Is he retired now?
He's not retired.
Not yet?
He's still working.
Still in restaurant?
In the Palestinian blood, there's no retirement.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to retire. He's not going to retire. But they rarely. He's the guy who always worked for never retirement. None of the
sure.
No Social Security. None of that stuff. Always worked for cash and all that kind of stuff.
Sure,
so it's pretty tough. But my dad, take him to some places, and he really likes those places. He'll eat a steak. He'll be like, this is super, super cool. He'll be like, hey, let's invite your cousin. Let's invite your uncle. And, every parent wants to show off their kid.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Amin could go to any place. Give him all this
red
food.
carpet treatment.
Yeah, this is fucking awesome. They think he's a celebrity, And I'm like,
yeah.
And I'm like, no, again, I try to be as humble as possible because I don't like being the center of attention. But he loves it. Everybody so the thing is like you said, if I was an accountant and I spent hours away from my wife, she would hate this business. But because this business requires me to be with my wife, like it doesn't even require, but for the most part, it functions better if my wife is the hand model. And
there's
we're
some
eating
overlap.
together. There's a lot of overlap. If you could find a business that brings in social, business, everything together, I'm able to invite friends that I've never seen. I'm able to invite high school friends that I haven't seen in a while and say, hey, you want to go for a meal? Nobody has to worry about the bill because the bills, there's a lot of anxiety when it comes to that. I don't know if I have enough to pay for it, or who's going to pay for it, or am I going to be taken advantage of, or whatever it may be, right? There's so many different questions. So when you create a business that all your friends and family love, you get undying support for it because you're not taking time away from them. My wife doesn't feel like, sometimes I do, right? Sometimes I'm working hard and I say, hey, can I get some time? I got to do this, whatever it may be. But for the most part, this business, and she respects that, she supports it because she knows what the business does for us. We're able to have our house, our cars. We're able to go on vacations. We're able to do all this great stuff. We're able to start a family. Excuse me. But it's tough. Like it's not. You don't feel bad because I respect the people that do those businesses. But those other businesses that take so much time away from your friends and family, they're hard to keep relationships while you're doing it. Like imagine right now during tax time, you don't get any time to breathe until April 15th. How do you think that puts? What strain does that put on a marriage? Or what strain does that put on a friendship? I haven't seen my friend in 6 months. That means I don't care about him. Well, no, it's because I'm focusing on something. But the cool thing is I always invite my friends. Hey, you want to go to this place? Oh, fuck yeah, man, let's go. Like, yeah, let's do it. So I think I've done a really good job of creating a business that allows me to be a good friend, family member, husband, all that at the same time, on top of making money.
Yeah. It's awesome. What are some oyster places you got lined up that you're going to try?
I went to a really good spot in Tinley Park. It's the south suburbs. It's called Vinny's Clam Bar.
Wow.
Yeah, really good oysters. I went to, my wife is Colombian.
Okay.
So I went to Colombia and I had fresh oysters.
Oh, wow.
And that kind of like broke the seal for me. I was like, seafood's really good. I love seafood. I like cooked seafood. Yeah. But raw seafood was kind of different.
Oysters is it's a texture thing, right?
It is, yeah. But apparently you're supposed to just swallow them.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that. And now I'm just fucking putting these oysters away.
shooting them left and right.
Yeah. So the dude literally will like pop them open. And
shuck them really in front of you?
Right in front of the beach too. They come to you on the ocean.
Oh, wow.
And he shucked them right there and he put 15 in one. And I just, this huge cup, a little hot sauce and lime, and I just let that thing go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I loved it. Like, I love all food. I was really bad. My wife actually helped me with that.
You were picky.
When I was a kid, meat and cheese on my burger, nothing else. I wouldn't do veggies. I love fruit. I love anything sweet. But when I was a kid, I didn't eat anything. My mom had a really hard time. God bless her for making it work. But I would eat just the plain stuff, and I wouldn't want certain things. I don't like ketchup. I didn't like mustard. I didn't like any of that stuff. But once my wife started introducing me to different Colombian food and different vegetables and different sauces, now I'm a garbage disposal, man. I can eat whatever.
So what do you think it takes for someone to be not as picky? Is it
in my lens?
or?
It's same with, like, this is how I think about music too. If someone's making music, that means somebody likes it. Why wouldn't I like it? Same with food. If someone's making food, unless you're allergic to it, and they like it, and if people like a food, why wouldn't I like it?
So this feeling of missing out?
Not even missing out. That sounds more of like a negative way. Almost like a social proofing. Like, it's good for people. Why wouldn't I eat it? Right? Instead of like I'm going to miss out on that experience they're having. No, I don't really care about that. My thing is more like, I created this demon of this food. Like, oh, this food is bad. It tastes bad. The texture's weird. All this stuff. It's in my head. Right? But if someone else likes it, it must not be that bad.
Chicken feet. Next time you go to dim sum.
What's dim sum?
Dim sum is like brunch at a Chinese restaurant.
Is dim sum a type of restaurant? Or
No, dim sum is kind of just what it is. It's like brunch.
Italian food kind of, or something? Or is
Chinese food.
Okay, so it's Chinese called dim sum.
Yeah.
Chicken feet.
Yeah.
Is there chicken on it, or is it just?
It's a chicken's foot.
But like, is there any meat?
Nope, it's a chicken's foot.
So how do you eat it? Is it like really crunchy?
Yeah.
Here, try it.
I'm kidding. I'm not just like it was very interesting. It's
I could try it. I mean,
because there are plenty of people that do like it. I
but
personally
also
don't
there's
like
some
it.
things that like make no fucking sense. Like, I'm not gonna eat a bull testicle. It's not gonna happen.
Or
insects, like for candy. I know some people eat that. Like, it's very common. Like the grasshoppers
crickets
and
and
why would I eat that?
Spiders.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. That's something. Those are like dirty things.
What about duck?
I tried it.
Yeah,
It's
sunwong.
like a chewier chicken.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of duck. You know what? I mean, listen. Now this is the part of the podcast where shit gets real. French food is not good.
Oh, okay.
French food is just like a compilation of like bad food. Like, not bad. You know what I mean? Like escargot, snails.
You don't like escargot?
No. Why would I eat a snail?
Beef tartare?
Why would I eat uncooked meat? Beef. Mind you, not like seafood. Maybe makes some sense, but beef.
Yeah.
And then just an egg.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You know, God bless the people that like it. I'll eat it.
Yeah.
If it was the only thing in front of me, or
Pate,
someone told me to try it, I'll eat it. But I'm
yeah.
not going to be like, yeah, man, I want to go to that French restaurant and down escargot and down beef tartare.
I agree, it's an acquired taste.
It is.
I mean, seafood are bottom feeders, right? Lobster,
Same
crabs,
thing. Yeah,
shrimp.
I'm not a big fan of.
bottom feeders.
I'm not a big fan of them.
Yeah.
I'll eat them.
Oysters.
Yeah, oysters.
Oysters filter out water.
I know, right? And it's crazy that people love this stuff, and it becomes more expensive the dirtier it is. That's how I kind of think of food sometimes too. I'm like, well, is this animal a dirty animal? Is this animal like for example, like I don't eat a lot of pork. I'll have pepperoni on a pizza.
But
I love pepperoni.
in the grand scheme of things, it's all in the circle of life too,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
There's like a purpose to it.
Exactly. God made animals for us to eat. But at the end of the day, it's like if this animal is super dirty, and I'm like, I'm not gonna shoot for that animal. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Usually, I like to know that my food has been cleaned well and all that. And usually, restaurants do it. There's a lot of different FDA things, and you can't buy food that's super dirty. You ever read The Jungle?
How do you do with no?
Upton Sinclair?
No, I've heard
Read
of
it.
it. Okay.
In the 20s, fingers in your hot dogs.
Oh.
As a social studies teacher, we know this book.
Okay.
Back and
Jungle.
left and everything. We know the front to the cover, everything. We know to the back, everything. But basically, in Chicago, this guy wrote a story about in Chicago, in the back of the yards.
Mm-hmm.
Those were all the cows and everything were.
Yeah, meat packing.
People would end up falling in vats of like vinegar that were hot, and they would die in it. And what are they going to do? They're going to throw away this food?
Oh no.
No. So they would sell it to people. And then beef would get so old sometimes, sitting on the counter, they would develop a green mold. People would shave it off a little bit of it and say, "This is the expensive meat,
Bro.
This is the cool meat. This is the meat that's aged." Right? People would be grinding, right? And there wasn't this crazy technology. It was knives. And butchers would be driving these knives through and cutting everything. If you were a butcher back then in the 20s, this is before the FDA was a thing.
Even if you saw the finger, be like, oh, I'm just gonna.
You usually, if you were a butcher back in the 20s, you didn't have all your fingers, just because you'd be constantly doing that stuff. So if that finger accidentally falls into this huge batch of, hot dogs, are they going to throw away the batch of hot dogs? Especially if nobody's looking at them?
Fuck.
And that's even at restaurants. Everybody's like, that guy's not wearing gloves. That guy in that video is not wearing gloves.
That
You think everybody's wearing gloves in the back of those kitchens?
That's a common comment on those like India street food videos.
That does not look appetizing. Because those guys have like, you look at their hands and they're like dark with like spots and like dirt and everything.
Yeah.
That's why I don't use my nails in the videos. My nails are not good looking. No, but
Well, so what's did you keep halal at some point?
halal is good. Halal just means it's
but it's not mandatory.
No, I'm not Muslim.
Oh, okay.
I'm Christian.
Oh, okay.
But halal is for Muslim people
Yes.
who think,
Sorry, I
or not
assumed.
think, excuse me, for people who have the way the animal's killed.
Yeah.
It's very close to kosher.
Okay.
So it's basically like blessed by God.
Mm-hmm.
That you're supposed to let like all the blood spill out, and you're supposed to kill the animal in a humane way.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't necessarily mean the meat is clean though. Doesn't mean it's stored well. It doesn't mean it's in the refrigerators at a certain temperature. It's none of that stuff. It just means the cow was killed in a certain way. Or the chicken was killed in a certain way.
Is it a certain part of the animal too, or is that kosher?
No, so all types of the animal could be in that, depending on what they eat, right?
Sure,
like
sure.
there's some parts of an animal you're not supposed to eat, and I'm not 100% sure about the Islamic religion of what you're supposed to eat. I know you're not supposed to eat pork. And in a lot of religions, you're not supposed to eat pork. But halal and kosher are basically like, hey, it's blessed by God because this is the way the animal should be killed. And everybody should want that, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you know, it sucks, man. In this country, you need to like spend a lot of money to get clean food.
Now, what's the difference between something being labeled a certain way and then someone just telling you this is kosher?
I know what you mean, right? Like if a restaurant says...
it's a leap of faith.
Yeah, but you have to see certifications and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like restaurants will literally have certifications, and it'll have the company that offers the halal meat or the kosher meat, and they'll have a certificate like hanging up somewhere.
I see.
If you really want halal food, you should ask for that certificate.
I see.
And if you really care and you plan on eating there consistently, you should call that company and say, "Are you still delivering to these, or did you do this?
Wow,
Or is this restaurant on your
good
list?"
looking out. Okay,
all that kind of stuff. But
Gotcha.
at the end of the day, yeah. But those same people who are cooking halal meat, who's to say, and are touching the meat, who's to say they're not doing that?
You're right.
Right? So it's like, you never know. Everything you're doing in a restaurant is a leap of faith because you're not seeing the person who's cooking the food.
Yeah.
And you're not seeing the
Prepping
conditions.
and
You're
yeah.
not seeing all that stuff. So
Yeah.
it's like, unless you get really sick, there's no way you're going to know. Right? Sometimes you might not even get sick because, I mean, people could eat boogers and still not, die.
Sure. Sure.
But it's not ideal. If you see it, you're pissed. But it's funny because that's a big thing in food videos. Like, people always want to see gloves. But if you go to the majority of kitchens in Chicago, nobody's using gloves back there.
Right.
And sometimes gloves are more dirty because you wear that same glove and doing certain things.
Yeah,
you have
contamination and
thousands of things you have to do.
Yeah.
And it's harder to get a grip on certain things, and sometimes you miss certain things.
I have a feeling I got sick at a Korean barbecue place because they mix the tongs. They use the same tongs on
You
the
have
raw
to be very
meat.
careful.
and
You have to be very
cooked
careful with that
meat.
stuff. Yeah. Because it has to be 100% cooked, and then you can put the next meat on there, right? Like, let's say, for example, you have beef and then you have chicken.
I'm not sure because
that work?
they use the same tongs that we moved the raw meat to and from, and then those same tongs were
Use that
cooked
chicken.
meat to your plate. And so, I wonder if there's cross
I
contamination.
think the thing is the different meats. I think you could
That
do that,
too.
but if, like, say, for example, you use the raw meat on the raw steak and you put it on there, and then you take that same tongs and you put the chicken, that's where the problem happens.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
The issue, I don't think, is the raw and the
So it's
I don't
certain
know, I'm not a
meats.
scientist.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But you're not supposed to mix like steak and chicken or
Oh.
pork and all the shrimp, and you're not supposed to cook it all in the same thing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Salmonella, I think, is a E. coli. I don't know.
We'll end it there, guys.
Yeah, foodie. Food reviews brought to you by Salmonella and E. coli.
People can find you at chicago.food.guide. Is it
On
guide or
Instagram.
guides?
Guide.
Guide. Is there anywhere else you'd like people to, and TikTok as well, right?
Yeah.
Is there anywhere else you'd like people to
Same
find
on
you?
Facebook, YouTube.
Facebook, YouTube. Okay.
You'll see me in your reels. You'll see me in your For You page if you like to eat. Especially if you're in the Chicago area.
It's hard to miss. Start that blog. Start the YouTube.
It's going to take so much time, man. I'm doing so many other things.
You're going to get a bigger team. You're going to leverage your
Right,
time
That's
more.
why I should get somebody to just handle the blog.
Yeah.
We got to start taking more pictures.
Well, AI can do that. Transcribe your videos into blogs.
Then there's no soul in it, man. There's just a bunch of computer nonsense in it.
Well, it's a good foundation.
It is, yeah.
Right?
At least it's something.
foundation.
At least you're doing it, right? Like,
Yeah.
at least you're scratching that surface.
Because when people are searching things to eat in Chicago or looking for a specific place,
Yeah.
your blog will come up.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I've been seriously blessed to do what I do. And all the people who have helped me get where I am are the direct benefactors of everything that I've been getting in terms of benefits, like all the food, any resources, and all this stuff. I just hope I can be a blessing to everybody around me, really, man.
Yeah, appreciate you.
And
Thanks
I love
for
this
coming
food.
on.
This food page is awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah.
You want to go out to
We're
eat
looking.
sometime?
Yeah, let's do
What
it.
do you like? What kind of food do you like?
Anything and everything. I'm easy. I like trying
You
new
say
places
that,
too.
But what do you prefer? If I say, hey, steakhouse. You like steak?
But like, I can be as simple as like pizza and burgers and
no,
hot
let's
dogs.
go to steakhouse. I'll take you somewhere. I know some
Okay.
spot. If there's a steakhouse, I'm going to take you there. Maybe we'll do the long. You can do the long review for me. Give me an example.
Mm-hmm.
What is it called? Long
form content.
You could give me that. You could do it for me
Mm-hmm.
in return for the steak.
Mm-hmm.
And if that works, or if it makes sense, then I can start doing that too. Or you could be on my team and you can help me with that.
Like you, I'm also very
You
busy.
see? So it's hard to add all that other stuff, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I look forward to sharing a meal one
doubt,
day.
man. It'll be fun.
Everyone else, thanks for tuning in. Till next time, stay curious.